1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Always tell the truth. Coretta ain't the only queen. Martin ain't the only one with the dream. Let them know that this rap's.
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Tara. You're listening to Now That's What's Up on KLIQ. And you just heard a couple songs by MBennz. She's sitting right here next to me in the studio right now. Hello.
Hi guys, what's up? Am I being recorded on that too?
Oh yeah, we're Facebook Live right now.
Just double checking.
We're everything live
Cool.
on a couple things. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we came from Los Angeles.
Yep, the Valley, the 818.
Traffic.
818.
Dude, speaking of real, you say some really real things in your music. We're so excited to have you
Thank
tonight.
you.
We were talking about this earlier before the show.
Yeah.
It goes great with our topic tonight, music of substance. And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. There was a line I know Elena really liked.
Oh yes. Okay, so you have one thing that I love about you is just that you're very outspoken. You speak the truth, and it's like one of the things. Yeah, exactly, and that's the
Gets me in trouble sometimes, but at the end, people realize that I mean well. It's coming from a good place, but
It is because I mean, you got this beanie on. It says "Be kind," but you're just real, okay?
Thank you.
And sometimes, and we need the real because there's just a lack of it right now in the world in general.
agreed.
And you had a lyric in "Let It Rap" that talked about the legends and the daughters and sons of the legends, and that's like such a bold statement. What inspired you? What provoked you to make such a bold statement? Because it's like you're hip hop, okay? So people are gonna snap back.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that I'm not. I only feel like you take things personally. If I'm not calling you out by name, which I have no problem doing that either. So if I'm not directly speaking to you, then if you take it personally, that's maybe because you have a guilty conscience and you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Right.
So if you're offended by it, then I mean that's your issue, not mine.
Right.
I don't do it for that reason. I do it because it's the truth. I said, they're killing us with earphones now instead of just the barrels of guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
what do you mean by that?
Well, because if your mind is the power. So if they can control us and diminish us to think that we're order takers and not leaders, or we're not like our own creators, then they're killing you mentally, spiritually, not physically. But what's the difference? If it's like there's a saying that says the difference between people. Some people are in prison and they can see the bars.
Right.
And some people are in prison and can't see the bars, but they still think they're free.
Right.
I see Mimi over there with a huge smile. Look
I
at
have
her.
chills. I know, this whole time I've been like, yeah, dude, that's really rad.
Well, I love this about her so much. And like I said, you're either love her or you're going to hate her, but
if you hate me, you probably won't say it to my face.
Yeah, exactly. Because, let's get real. A lot of people are just very mainstream. They're not talking about anything when they spit their bars. And we finally have someone that, you're taking the art and you're saying okay, this is my mind and no one's going to stop me. I'm not going to let a major label tell me if I'm going to release an album or not. And you just to prove it, you did your album, this last album that you dropped, is called the iPhone Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why was it named that?
Because it's 22 songs plus 2 bonus tracks. I did it in less than 45 days.
What?
Recorded and wrote all of it, and it was all on my iPhone. Because my whole thing is that it's never been an issue with me. It's been about the people around me. Because this is how it is in art. If you look at any of the legendary artists, there's always opposition. You know what I mean? And especially in this business where they take women specifically, and they want to whore us out. And make us, glorified strippers who can rap or whatever, or they
Glorified strippers.
Honestly, it's the fact.
Right.
It's the fact. You literally become a prostitute in a way because it's like you're getting paid to be told what to do, and you'll do anything for money.
Yeah.
I got
puppets.
money. So what? I have respect. You can't take money with you to the grave, but your name.
Yeah.
So,
and that's
it's
the
all
thing.
about choices.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of these artists that are coming out, you know, are they going to be here in the next 5, 10 years, 20 years? Are we going to be playing their stuff?
No, they'll be replaced by
They're
another.
here now and gone.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. You know, Ice Cube, Today Was a Good Day.
The point is a lot of these artists, if you look at it, it's like he says, you know, they say all these things, but then next thing you know, they're in family movies.
Right.
And it's like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being an actor, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't, you can't be a gangster and then in a paddle boat the next day. Like, it's contradictory to the art. And so what people have to understand is that it's not that it's, the problem I have with is that people say it's entertainment, and you're absolutely right. It's entertainment, okay? But the problem is the masses don't understand that it's entertainment. So you have these kids in inner cities that think that these guys are gangsters, and they try to emulate them, and then that becomes its whole problem in itself.
Well, yeah, and then we get into things like Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter and all. And well, I mean, I think Mimi's like shaking her head, but I think, you know, because you start to behave a certain way, and that attracts certain tension.
They call it television programming, radio programming. Like, they don't call it television free thinkers. Like, they call it programming because you're being programmed. They choose what you watch, and if you're inundated with it over and over. That's why, like, radio stations like this, because you guys can choose what you want, what artists you want. You're not being told by this radio programmer at the top that owns Clear Channel saying, or iHeartRadio, that you have to play Nicki Minaj, Drake, and Selena Gomez 20 times a day.
And you know, it's so funny, because on my way here, I was listening to a radio station, and I don't know, it was like Power 106, and then I turned on a different station. It was like K-Day, and it had the same exact song.
That happens all the
They were
time.
playing, yeah. So I mean, you know, and I was told when I first started that, you know, I would never make it because I refuse to play mainstream music. They're like, nobody's gonna take, and I do all indie, but then I also infuse, you know, independent talent.
Right.
Like, you know, we can do cover songs, like, you know, Kendrick Lamar and stuff like that. But like I said, you know, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you.
And you are really involved with the youth. And I always see you doing stuff with Mike.
Kids.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about the STAR Kids and your involvement with the community and the youth.
Okay, so the STAR Kids is, well, basically that STAR Kids is an acronym for STAR, is Sent to Awaken and Revolutionize, which it came about before I was even doing anything with film yet. And it just kind of, it was something that just came to me one day, like it was weird, and then I just kind of clicked. I'm like, oh, I should create this. And it's not just for kids, it was originally supposed to be for like all artists in general, like basically people that are here to make change, you know what I mean, and want to be a part of something, because a lot of people, that's where I feel like the real, or the independent artists kind of suffer because they don't feel like supported, and then they kind of quit.
Right.
Because a lot of people aren't, it's not that they're bad people, but not everyone is like ready to go to war. I'm ready to go to war if I have to. I don't care. So I'm like, bring it on. You know, but it's like, so for them, I understand, because a lot of artists are sensitive, you know, and that's where they're able to transform it into music, but they're not always able to be verbally strong or outwardly, you know, so.
To take that.
Yeah, so what happened is I just started working, it was just, I met him, and then I had been interning with Jerry, and then I was ready to go off on my own, and it just kind of all divinely worked out. It was just, it's not one of those things that you can really explain. It just was like, boom, boom. I started managing a vocal coach downtown LA, and we did some boot camps for the kids, and it just kind of, like we were there like 9 months to a year, I think, and then we went off on our own, and we just started our own, and we've been doing, you know, music videos.
Very successful, by the way.
Thank you. All the kids have had really good success, like, and now I'm starting to transition into working more with kids as just singers too, and developing them into their art.
So is this kind of like a label thing?
I mean, I'm not signing anyone yet, but that might come in time. To be honest with you, I'm going to be very cautious of how I make moves. Well, it's just because I don't want to own anybody or their art. I kind of want to teach them how to like be independent, and because a lot of the kids we work with, for example, they'll start off, they'll want to do cover videos, and next thing you know, we're getting millions of views. These are all organic, and it's just because we pick the right songs to cover. That's really what it is. And then it's a multitude of things. The cover song choice, the energy involved behind it, when it's the light versus the dark. When you have good energy, these kids are pure. They flourish. They go boom. And so then what happens is their age and start getting shows, TV, movies, and they're starting to book. Not all of it's, I'm not saying it's us, I'm just saying it's kind of an energy thing. It just kind of transfers. And so what I told, Mike earlier is we need to start, if we can do it to where the kids can make money from the TV and the film, then they don't have to. They can always do their art. Because music doesn't sell anymore. Brands sell, not music. So you have a brand, and if you're an actor, whatever, that doesn't have to be what they do. But actors on TV shows work how many months a year? The rest of the time you work on your music, and you start your own label. Right. You have your own brand. You sell merchandise, and you tour, and then eventually, if it works out, you just don't do the TV stuff anymore. But versus artists who make all this money and then become actors.
Right.
I like the way you're thinking. Now, you did say Sent to Awakening and Revolutionize. When did you wake up?
I always make this joke. I woke up in 2009, I think. I was like, I haven't used an alarm since, but no, I think 2000, to be honest with you, I've always been really tuned in, but it's like weird. It's like, for example, I've been a vegetarian since I could talk. Okay. Like, I never ate meat. My parents would try to, and I'm like, I'm not eating it. It's an animal. Like, you don't understand. And I would, like, fight my parents. Like, it started back then at 4. Wow. So, but as I got older, and then, internet and things and books, and I started reading and studying, and then I just, but 2009, I'd say 2010 was when it was really, boom, it was like a flood of information downloaded in my brain. I'm like, uh-oh, it's never going to be the same.
Right. You never are the same, and you're the one that introduced me to that too, and just kind of more awareness, and it's helped me the last year in tremendous ways.
Well, that means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, it's helped me my development too. So, you had a question?
Yeah. So I want to know your influences, because honestly, when I hear you, you might take offense, but maybe not. This is just my opinion. I hear a little bit of Royce 5'9", where you're offbeat, but it's not really offbeat, and then you come back on it.
Yeah, I just kind of, for me, for the iPhone Chronicles too, it's funny because I just what you elaborate on what you said. I just did a new music video, and it's called Midnight Roses, and that music video, I recorded that song in 2012, and everyone's like, yo, your flow pattern has stepped up tremendously. I'm like, no, I was in a recording studio. You're listening to iPhone raps. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, I'm sitting on my couch like this, in my pajamas.
You're in the moment. Yeah. Sometimes you can't take that away.
But at the same time, I want it to be like that because that's what art is. Art is not perfect. Right. And you guys hear, not you guys, but us, all of us, hear so much watered down. I work with kids, and I go to the studio who are just starting to sing, and they can't carry a note, but the studio make them sound radio ready.
Yeah, very true, very true.
So, and it's not like that. And my point is, so it's why I did that is I just wanted, everything I do is I'm this is my heart and soul. If you don't like it, it's okay. Because I'm human and you're human, and you can front all day on Instagram and play the role, but I'm not going to do that. So with my art, that's why I kind of did that. And Royce the 5'9"'s not an insult, so I don't.
No, well, just the kind of style going offbeat just a tad, but then just snapping right back on it. It's almost
just
like you're just
I go into my own zone.
You're not even flowing. You're talking most of the time, just rhyming kind of thing.
Yeah, that's really, but that's a lot again is because when I'm recording on the iPhone, I can't. It's you kind of ride the beat when you're in the studio because you're on, and there's not that energy. I'm listening to flat sound almost, so it's hard to.
Alright, but it still sounds good.
Thank you. But the point was, it's demos. Back in the day, rappers used to shop demos. That's what they did. They gave you their demo tape. Look what I could do here. Imagine you get me in the studio.
Exactly. Yep.
It's art versus smoke and mirrors. I want to say. Art versus smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's really what a lot of these art, quote unquote, they're not artists. It's I've learned, don't call everyone your friend. Some people are just associates.
Acquaintance.
Acquaintance. I know them. It doesn't mean we're because I'll say, yeah, it's my friend. Then I'm like, no, wait, that's not, let me back up. Not that they're a bad person, but I don't know them like that to be co-signing their behavior. Right. So, it's the same thing with that. Yeah, smoke and mirrors, because it is a lot of smoke and mirrors. And these studios now with technology,
well, there are apps on the iPhone where you can. I had so much fun with this. You just speak into the phone.
Oh, the mule thing,
and it has a rap.
I downloaded it to because I keep seeing these ads, and it makes you sound like T-Pain.
Break it down, because I haven't used it.
You can just talk into it, and it creates a
rap
whole song.
Oh wow, that's
What's
crazy.
that
Really funny.
It's called bullshit.com. No, it's funny for people like us, but the sad part is people will start
real people
trying to think they're
will drop Yeah, they'll drop
You're
music.
the next, like, what, Tupac. I'm like, no.
I mean, speaking of what David said, like mentioning Rush to Find Out, like who do you actually like, listen to though? Because it is a lot of watered down stuff out there. Like, I mean, for me, I had to kind of dig in the crates and really go back to the early stages, you know?
I listen to, I mean, there's a few that I listened to more recently, like hip hop wise, is like, I listen to this guy, his name's Locksmith. He's like so dope. If you look him up, like, you guys, like, he has this one freestyle that he did on one of the radio shows, and I'm like, I just want to throw my phone instead of the mic. Drop them. I'm like, I just want to throw my phone for him. I'm like, dude, nobody can come after this. You just said it all.
Yeah.
He said, he goes, you say you hustle for a lot of loot. He said, I'd rather be known as an unknown than a prostitute.
Ooh,
okay.
Bars.
You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. That gets me hyped up. Vinny Paz, he's a MC from Philly. There's a few others. Like there's this one crew called, and I'm not religious by any means, but I actually really like these guys. They're called God Over Money is their movement. And his name's Bizzle. And there's like some other guys that are from I think Texas.
Okay.
And they're like really dope.
There's like a huge lack of artists or artist awareness in the hip hop industry, in the Christian industry. That's like eventually I think
look them
my
up,
lifetime
like
goals. Is getting exposing that world in the world. How can people find your music?
You can just go to MBennz, like Google me. No, I'm just kidding. I hate when Google me. No, it's MBennz, which is MBE 2 N's Z, and then .bandcamp.com, or you can go to SoundCloud, search MBennz, MBENNZ, Instagram, YouTube. It's all MBennz with 2 N's.
Nice.
On any pretty much social media. So
That's
Twitter,
definitely what's up.
Facebook. Just kidding. I don't know what else.
We're gonna go into play some more independent music. We love to have you come back for the next set. You're listening to Now That's What's Up on KLIQ Radio. We're here with the lovely MBennz.
That's what's up.
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Tessa Terry. You're listening to NTW Radio on KLIQ. I'm here with MBennz and the Kuldesac Krew. You just heard Anthem and Raspy Raps in that set. Before that, earlier tonight, we played you some Vox and MBennz. And we just want to give a shout out to Trell and Marty, also to Ian and to Anna. They're watching over on Facebook Live and
listening on the radio too.
We appreciate you guys.
What up, Anna?
Ian, you're my boy.
You're my boy, Blue.
So,
And you guys want to give a shout out to somebody else too, right? Somebody who connected you guys.
What up, Lord Cass?
Lord Cass. That's a huge example of the internet and the power of the underground and how the digital, you said the movement is taking traction.
Movement's finally gaining traction.
Yes, thank you, sorry.
That's, we were
No, but
way into that.
it's okay, you don't have to know my lyrics, but I better know.
Yeah, and we met like years ago, and you know, you're probably one of the few that I'm still in touch with, and you've always kept it 100, and I've always kept it 100, and she's one of the few that will like stick with me.
I'm like,
one like.
I'm like, I'll like it because it's the truth.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all feeling guilty consciousness right now. You can't like that.
Well, where can we follow you and listen to more of your stuff?
MBennz, so it's just M like Michelle, which is my name. Last name is Bennett, which is why the name, just so everybody understands, I'm not trying to be a car. It's a nickname that I've had, just MBennz, like I'm Michelle Bennett. So it's MBennz, but it's with 2 N's, like my last name has Bennett, 2 N's, Z. So it's MBENNZ, and you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Musically. I don't really do much Musicallys cool. other than like making fun of like doing comedy ones. I like those. Right. But but stuff like that. So anywhere MBennz you can find me.
If you see stars, neon colors, possibly unicorns, or stars
or mermaids,
universe. You've hit the right page.
You might, yeah, exactly. If you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? It's a lot.
It's like magic.
It's like a lot going on, but it's all love. But no, yeah, definitely about the light
I'm finding you right now on Instagram. And you guys can find us on Instagram too. We're at the Kuldesac Krew. Both of those
a K.
with a K, that's right.
Yeah.
And email us, thekuldesaccrew@gmail.com. Don't forget to submit your music of substance. We really want to play it.
So let's talk a little bit more. You knew Jerry, I'm so
Heller.
sorry. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. He's one of your mentors.
He's a mentor, but he's also he was like a really good friend, like very close. So
how was his passing? How did that affect you?
oh, don't get me crying. It was hard, to be honest with you, because it was unexpected. And so I think everyone kind of took it like it wasn't time, but I mean, he knew what time it was, and he actually they buried him on Easy's birthday.
Right. So
I know. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. So Eazy-E's daughter is actually working on, just to plug her, she's working on an Indiegogo right now, or a Kickstarter if you go to her page, I believe, to raise money to try to do the Ruthless, like the true story.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
We'll definitely
awesome.
check that out.
Because she was very close with Jerry as well, and a lot of people have said stuff, and I've gotten into heated debates with people,
Right.
but I knew the man personally, and I'm a very good judge of character, and I've always said, I'll say this, if Jerry screwed everybody, how come they're all making way more money than him?
That's what's up.
So
proof's in the pudding.
You have, but men lie, women lie, numbers don't, and these guys are multi-millionaires, billionaires. And I know specifically one who, I don't think Dre really had, Dre and him were always cool. Dre's mom actually used to live across the street from Jerry for a long time in Calabasas. So they were cool, but it was, it's like what happens is, and I know this from being on the business side, is people want your attention and energy, and if he picked Easy to give that to, and the other people didn't feel like they were the star of the show, there starts to become an ego issue.
Absolutely.
Right. And you lose focus of the music
and the purpose.
So what is the purpose?
Everybody wants to be the star, but not everybody's the star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to be the star, don't be in a group.
I mean,
It's not, so it's like one of those things, but what happened is, unfortunately, is that he didn't really, because he's older and he didn't do the whole social media thing, and he's just like, whatever, let it be. I know the truth.
Right.
But what happens is if you don't come back at these type of people, then their lie grows and it spawns. I mean, I looked up the writers for Straight Outta Compton, and they had like one other movie. One of them was called Fire Pussy, and the other one was called, and I'm like, this is stuff like, just go on the internet. You can find, seek and you shall find. The truth is out there.
The truth is out there.
Find the truth, find MBennz, follow her, listen to her music. We are so glad to have you in the studio today. This
Thank
is really
you guys.
great.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, we're all
Appreciate it. Thanks, Elena, for all you do for staying true to the music and independent artists, and making sure that our voices get heard too, because it takes a team.
Yes, and we have a little card for you.
Okay, you guys gonna make me cry. God, all my street credit.
Yeah. Every time we have an in-house artist, we always try to, show our appreciation for the people that actually take their time and come down and, kick it with the Kuldesac Krew.
But that's the difference. Is what I'm saying. Like, your parents raised you right. Like my mom, I send thank you cards still. People are like, "What, you send me a thank you card?" I'm like, "Yeah, because that's how I was raised. Like, I would get in trouble if I didn't do that. Like, you got me a gift and I didn't send a
happy
thank you."
face emoji. Like, what was this?
Cool. Like, people don't even know how to do that anymore.
Yeah, I know. Real talk. Yeah,
Guys.
Yeah.
And you spelled my name right. Thank you, double thank you.
Oh, yeah.
People put like MBennz. I'm like,
No.
One more time, you guys. It's MBennz.
thank you.
Yes.
2 N's. If you don't know how to spell, you're failing.
It's your girl, Elena Charis, and we're signing out. Everyone say good night.
Good night,
Good
guys.
night.
We can grow together from the same vine. When the season comes, bloom at the same time. Can I please drill this concrete in your mind? So it won't just be stars, our souls align. These limelights are radiant, blinging like a shrine. I travel distances through this universe, always follow signs. I'm on some different shit. Call me Tyson in my prime. Rather travel through my mind than